excited. We will be sitting down with two phenomenal people in our industry, Sara Davis and Tara Gardiner. They not only were and are phenomenal hairstylists in the industry, but in 2019, they actually took over the salon that they were working for. So today we're going to dive into their entire story and we're going to learn all about it. Cool?
Sarah and Tara.
Sarah and Tara.
On the way to dinner last night, we were like, God, I wish our names were Monica and Veronica or Felicia and Alicia.
So much cooler.
It's a lasting impression.
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys don't mind, just kind of give us a rundown of what your current situation is with the salons that you have.
Yeah.
Okay. We have 3 salons all in the same city. Salon Blu. We have 89 employees. It's
a ride.
It's a lot.
It's a good time. It's so much fun.
A few moving pieces.
Yeah, a lot of moving
I have
pieces.
one question. When you guys started out in 2019, when you took over, was it you took over all 3 salons, or did they grow? Did you have one and then?
No.
We took over
Yeah.
all
All
3.
three.
So
Wow.
it's a 24-year-old brand this year. When we took over, do you want me to just give you the spiel of how it
let's do
happened?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. I have a
So
question. How did you guys get the opportunity to take this over?
yeah.
Okay.
It was very random, but a former employer of my husband had a lot of portfolio companies. And for whatever reason, completely out of his wheelhouse, he decided to take on 2 dry bars. And then once he did this, he realized he had no idea how to run a dry bar, much less a salon. And he really wanted to invest in salons. So he asked my husband if he could talk to me about partnering and basically, him just kind of be more passive. And of course, I wanted to bring in my mentor, which is Tara. And so we met, we went through all the numbers and realized that split was not going to be really beneficial to us. And we were going to be putting in most of the work for sure, as well as like all of our history and like contacts. So we ended up originally thinking it might work out. It's a very low financial obligation for like an entry point to get a salon. I think it was like $30,000 and these were already upfit. So it was going to be just plug and play. So we went to the founder of Salon Blu. It was a husband and wife. And we sat down with them in their backyard and just basically, it was the day before her baby shower that was being hosted by like a salon employee, all these things. So not great timing. But we just showed up and we're literally saying, hey, this opportunity presented itself. It's really phenomenal. It's low entry price point. So like we feel like we have to at least maybe entertain it. Can you give us your blessing? Do you want to partner with us or do something to kind of avoid the whole non-compete like distance? Because it was very close to where we were working. And surprisingly, they said, yes, take it and take our 3. And so immediately that was a curveball we were not expecting. We didn't know if we were going to leave that meeting and be fired or partners. And we definitely didn't expect for them to offer us their 3 salons. And so after a lot of thoughtful, poring over data and just really thinking about what that could look like, we figured it is probably more beneficial for us just to go all in on the 3 salons that are an existing brand. We had loyalty to the company, we had loyalty to the teams, and we really had a vision for improving on some things and modernizing some things. So we ditched the concept of the 2 dry bars, and he eventually just offloaded those to just individuals. And then we went heavy in on an SBA loan, and it took about 8 months to get fully from beginning to close. And then announced to the team in October of 2019 they announced it that we had taken over ownership. And
That's
so,
amazing. Did you change the name or anything? Or
No.
You kept everything the same?
Because the
Okay.
brand recognition was so strong and we're 3 salons in one city, it would have been,
Gotcha.
counterproductive to
Yeah,
go in and
for
do
sure.
that. This year we did a rebrand, and that was in we've done remodeling throughout the salons over the last 7 years. We've done 3 remodels and a complete expansion. And so we felt like we had put our touch on things aesthetically, but then this year we just went in and like changed the font after 20 some years, overhauled some of those kind of things, like just little things even. And the staff has been really receptive to that. And I think the guests too.
How long did the owners have the salon before you guys took over?
Probably 19 years, right?
Yeah, close to, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say my math's not mathin', but
Yeah.
19
So
years.
they had it for 19 years, and then they were just over it. They were like, "I'm done. I'm retiring."
Yeah, they wanted to. Jennifer, the original owner, just wanted to come in and do hair a couple
Okay.
days a week, which she still does with
amazing.
us, and we love it. And her kids were getting older, and she just wanted to have that time with her children instead of, dealing with all the salon things. Just
Yeah.
kind of finish out her last few years with the kids in a different place.
Now, does she play any role in the leadership with you guys, or
Not at
she
all.
just comes
Completely
in and do hair
hands
and
off.
that's it?
and that's her preference. And we're really fortunate that that actually is what
Yeah.
played out, and it wasn't a regretful situation on her end and still trying to like tiptoe into leadership or
Yeah.
any decision making. But no, she fully is walking the walk because she said, I just want to do hair.
How big was the team when you guys approached her? Like, how many employees were there? Like, because I just think it's amazing that she saw something in you two to leave her legacy to. Like, basically, like, here's my legacy, take it. Like, how many other people were there that she could have chose from?
Oh, I mean, there was probably 100 because this was,
Wow.
we've downsized a little bit since, because we basically bought the salons and then 4 months later got closed down for COVID. So
COVID.
that changed everything because we don't have partitioned off spaces. You know, it's
Yeah.
all, each location is one big space.
Wow.
So that changed some people's mindset about working in a big space. They wanted smaller settings after COVID. So we did go down a little bit, but like Tara was one of the first employees ever hired. So she definitely had the draw more than, I'll say more than myself in the respect that she had much more personal relationship with Jennifer.
Okay.
So when it came time for us to even consider making any sort of move outside of our just employees of Salon Blue, there was no way that like Tara was gonna be okay with not having it be on the up and up with her.
Yeah.
So like approaching her, asking for her blessing, partnering, and all that stuff, really was more of a testament to like their loyalty and friendship over 20 some years.
And I think that they chose my side, me, for a reason because I had been their director of education for several years. I had worked really hard on building their education program up. And so they knew that I was really invested in the brand and had that loyalty. And then I think they chose Sara because they knew that her and her husband had some financial goals that were related to the salon industry because they had thought about doing suites in a different state at one point and had reached out to the husband about it. So they just knew that we kind of had that combo of like all business and the education, which is education's what's always driven our brand, and we like to keep that the forefront of everything for us. So
That's amazing.
I just want to acknowledge that the fact that this transition happened in such a
terrible time.
a terrible time. Yes, a terrible time, which I do want to dive into shortly after this. But I want to mention how I think it's extremely rare for this type of acquisition or transition to happen the way it happened because it feels so good. Like the fact that she's still with you, Jennifer, is still with you, and you had made a comment to us. We had the opportunity to go to dinner with these lovely ladies last night, and when you had mentioned like I love that I get to work with her 2 days a week, like it just I was like, that's unbelievable. Like what a dream. Like that is everybody's dream. I mean, that's my dream. Like
And she lets me, I bounce ideas off of her because I know she won't talk to anyone about any of it. And she can give me that inside information on, this worked for us or didn't work for us. And then there's days where like she's the only one in the room that understands the highs and the deep lows of being a salon owner. And so I've definitely cried on her shoulder when no one's looked before. And so it is a real gift to have her there in the highs and the lows.
She can relate to you.
She really can.
Yeah.
She's been there.
so not only did you guys take on this insane leap that you did it in 2019, big SBA loan, I'm assuming.
Yep.
And then COVID happened.
Yep.
Talk to us about what that was like.
Well, once we got out of the fetal position and put the wine down.
True story.
True story. Thank goodness we
Put the
lived on
wine
the
down.
same block because she came over every day. And I had never been a stay-at-home mom, so I went from full business to stay-at-home mom overnight, and that was its own trauma for me.
With like a
gift with a
1-year-old.
1-year-old. It was a gift,
Yeah, he
but
turned
it was
1 during COVID.
but it was
quarantine.
traumatizing for me. And we were just so scared, and we were so worried about our staff, and we really struggled with, because we're all W-2s, but no one's on salary, so trying to navigate
Oh, you're talking about
unemployment and things like that. Like, thank God she was so good at that stuff, because it took a really long time for us to get that for our staff. And so I had a friend who worked for a restaurant, and every Sunday I would go to the restaurant because they had ordered all this food, but they couldn't get rid of it. And so I would go to the restaurant every Sunday, and I would pick up whatever they weren't selling, and I would make meals, and we would sit out on the curb with my kid in a playpen, and we would let the staff know, like, drive-by meals, like at 12 o'clock every Sunday, come by and get food. And that was really the only thing that kept me sane through that time.
Yeah. And then on the back end, you know, there was a lot of paperwork that was required to try to get a PPP quickly. And then that we were very, very fortunate that they did allow us to use the previous tax years of information so that we could get a maximum, as opposed to us only having 4 months technically under our new tax ID and LLC. So because we had such a fresh relationship with our SBA lender, and I mean, they were phenomenal during everything, that really allowed us to be funded within a couple days for our PPP loans. So we put everyone on in-house unemployment, even if they weren't necessarily a full-time employee. We made sure they maxed out, so they were getting at minimum what they would have gotten from the state plus federal pandemic unemployment. And we did like the food pickup. We
made masks.
Yeah, we like hand sewed masks.
learned
Like,
how to use
we
a
were doing
sewing
whatever we
machine.
could to try to be supportive. We did virtual kind of bachelorette, whatever was airing that time, parties, just to try to keep some community.
Yeah.
We did random social media, like, you know, where like one person's dropping a hairbrush and then the next person catches it. And,
Yeah.
So like just trying to keep the morale up, because we had no idea how long we were going to be closed for, and we had no idea. I mean, it was a very scary time. Like, people were very scared for many, many reasons. We were scared about our business. We were scared about the health of our team, the future of, you know, what that looks like when you return. Do people want to come and see you? And so it was all very scary. And luckily, in hindsight, we had a lot of best case scenarios. It didn't change the fact that we were mandated to be closed for a quarter of the year. And then we came back, and everyone, guest and staff's opinion of a big space varied. And people just kind of like, some people just straight up didn't come back to the salon for a year. We had an employee that we had on medical leave for a year, and we paid for her health insurance, 100% of her health insurance for that year, because her individual health needs did not allow her to return. And we could not, in good conscience, take her off of our insurance. So, yeah, we did what we could, and hopefully we never, ever, ever have to revisit that level of support again.
Talk to us a little bit about what the transition looked like in regard to the dynamic between you guys and the team, because you went from being peers to now being leaders and owners, and I imagine that was complex.
I think it varied based on the individual and to some degree the location.
Yes. So it was kind of a 50-50 split. There were some people that were just like, this makes sense. We're really excited about it. And then there were other people that felt the complete opposite. And I get it. You know, they had loyalty to the previous owners. They liked the way things were going, because in some ways the things benefited them and stuff like that. And some of the changes that we wanted to make were to lean more into certain protocols being more black and white, so that no one ever felt like there was favoritism to so-and-so. And so there was some pushback, and then we had quite a big walkout not too long after coming back from COVID. That was a combination of COVID, Sweet Spaces becoming the hot new topic, as well as us being the new owners. It was a huge, huge hit.
How many people left?
I honestly don't have a number, because it really did for a minute feel like a revolving door.
We had 9 in 1 week.
Yeah, it was one weekend. And that was specifically, the location that the founder worked at. So the loyalty was very much to her. Also, I feel like there was the proximity of a new sweet space opening very close, and it was fresh. So like the majority of that group all went to the same sweet space. They just had their own individual rooms now. So they had that familiarity of like the people that they'd be working around, but they were then their own boss and could do what they wanted. That one was a tough one. We immediately went into, I would say, like damage control and started shifting people around because a lot of those people were more of our senior stylists. So we had a need for who can we pull from the other locations maybe to fill that void, because there were definitely guests that were just very more interested in being at that location because they might live there. It's a very live, work, play area. They might live basically in the apartments above. Okay. So that's why. But I do think that your question about like why us and not another person, like when that decision was made and how that was made, I think to some degree, some of the people that left probably did have that feeling of, well, why not me? Or now, and I do remember the day we announced specifically, going around the room and like people are like hugging you like, oh, congratulations. And one person that did end up leaving said, what do I do now? Like, what am I going to do? Because like it triggered a thought process of, okay, what is my end game? Mm-hmm. And is it just a stylist or do I have bigger intentions?
Yeah. That's interesting. But to answer your, if any of your employees are wondering that, I feel like the reason why you guys got the opportunity is because you took the risk and you went and asked for an opportunity, like a blessing, not realizing that blessing was actually going to be a much bigger blessing.
I always joke and say that we went in thinking we were going to get an everlasting gobstopper, and we got the whole damn factory. Like that is not at all what we thought we were walking into.
Yeah.
And we didn't realize at the time truly that they had already started the process of getting the valuation of the company. They had listed it with a broker just privately a year before to get that valuation. And so they knew, and this was like a year, like to the date, essentially. The timing could not have been better because their contract had ended with their broker, so they weren't going to have to go through that person. And then for us, we got to navigate without that variable as well.
Yeah, it just seemed like everything fell right into place for everybody, the owners as well as you guys.
How has all of that like shaped your, I guess, like your leadership, your resilience, and your interactions with the team?
Well, I think we say all the time, like, if we can get through 2020 all the way to, I'm going to say 2023, if we can do that, because that was a time of fear, and we had to completely rebuild. It was a time of loss. I mean, I felt so much sadness from all the loss of relationships that I had over all the years of working there, that weighed really heavy on me. And then just the fear of the unknown. If we can get through 2020 to 2023, we can damn well do anything now. I mean, I feel like we struggled for a long time just trying to figure out how to handle and balance. And now I feel like we've gotten our footing. We don't get as rattled when things come at you. We know they're going to come at us. And it's just like, okay, they come at us. We wallow for a minute and then we put our big girl pants back on and we get to moving. And so I think our resilience now, we were forced to become resilient very quickly.
I agree, because I feel like COVID, if you had the opportunity to be an owner during COVID of any business, I feel like it shaped you.
It did.
Like who you are today is a completely different owner pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And I feel like you said, the word resilience is so perfect to define an owner today. If you got through COVID and you were able to, keep your success and bring your company back from such a low, I mean, that is just like, what an amazing thing. And you guys especially got really thrown into it. And Alicia too. I mean, we had just opened Wayne, and I mean, she was a brand new baby owner as well. And it was like, talk about getting thrown to the wolves.
Yeah.
Like, you guys faced one of the biggest challenges that any business owner has ever faced in as long as, people are alive.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you guys got through it.
I feel like we can handle anything
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
And I do think
right.
that we gained the loyalty of the team in that respect as well, because they
Yep.
saw us. Okay, for example, one of the things that we did, and we are fortunate, I need to like clarify, we are fortunate that her father-in-law is a general contractor. So during our quarantine, we went all in, and I mean, really, it was a gamble because we were spending money that we were not making.
Right.
And we completely renovated one of the locations that needed it the most. And there would never be a time where we could put up scaffolding and do what we
Shut
needed to
down
do
for
and shut
10
down for that
years,
time
right?
frame to do all the things that we needed
Yeah.
just to modernize. And that was a commitment from the get-go.
Yeah.
Like, when we sat down with the team in October of 2019 and told them, that we had taken over, and one of the things they wanted to know is what's going to be different. And none of the things in the moment that were going to be different were like the processes and protocols and things like that. But we did make a commitment to continue to grow the company and
Yeah.
grow our education program, and to do some remodeling and modernizing the locations. So they saw us do that immediately.
Yep.
And then it just trickled down. We just, about every 6 months we were tackling that, because even though the money wasn't coming in, we needed them to understand that we were all in and we were going to figure out how to make it work
Yeah.
one way or another.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, kind of basically our, like, I guess our tagline is like, we're going to make it work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, COVID has definitely done so many owners in. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it was such a curse for so many people, but like, fortunately for us, like, and you guys, COVID was like a blessing and a curse
Mm-hmm.
in a sense, But moving on from COVID, because I don't want to spend too much time on
Yeah.
that.
Please.
You guys got like thrown right into these leadership roles. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
know that you were educating, so like you had some experience in a leadership role. How did you guys like grow into that? Like, that's like not something you just wake up the next day and you're like, I'm a leader. Like, tell
Yeah.
us about that. Like, what did that journey look like for you guys?
Well, I think my opinion of her is that the team respected her because she was a platform artist for Redken. We are a Redken salon. So they already knew that she had the technical and everything like background. So they trusted her decision making on products, color lines, education, etc. My end, I kind of functioned as an unpaid like manager at the location that I am behind the chair for many years. So I do think that we were already in leadership roles that were either compensated or not compensated. But the teams already started seeing us in those kind of roles. So some people had to learn that maybe didn't work with us one-on-one when we're behind the chair. They had to learn like what we're all about.
Okay.
But the ones that we did work with, they knew that we were going to be, we were leaders, and we were going to be like bringing the best that we could to the teams. And that was always going to be like our main goal.
I think we've always made it very clear that we have an open door policy, like come to us with anything and everything. You may not love the answer you get, but we will thoughtfully, we will think it out. We are always going to make the decision that is best for the whole team. It can't be for one person. It has to be for the whole brand. And sometimes that's going to hurt people's feelings, but at the end of the day, that's how we keep the unity and the structure. And I think our consistency helps us evolve as leaders, and then also knowing like what our lanes are. Like, I know she is great on all the back end stuff, the technical, the social media. Like, she is so good at all that. I that's not my wheelhouse. I'm going to stay in my lane over here with education and growing associates and stylists. Like, that's where I belong. And I think that helps. Our lines don't really cross. Which helps a lot with the clarity on where
Right.
we should be and at the right time.
And who goes to who. So like
Right.
if a staff member needs to know something about education, our associates, anything like that, they know they're going to go to her. Because if they come to me, I'm probably going to say, let me get back to you on that because I don't know the answer. And I'll just ask her, But I think that we definitely have like a laminated, like, who to go to type of thing. So our staff knows, like in each break room, like if this, then that. But like, I just always think like I'm more paper and she's more people, and that's how we kind of divide. And it's not that we don't bounce ideas off of each other and come to each other to confirm that that's the route we want to take, but it allows us to be a little bit more efficient in our roles.
And you guys are both behind the chair right now?
Yeah.
3 days a week.
I have to ask you something. Have you guys ever considered stopping behind the chair? Does
Me?
that
No.
the thought cross your mind? Okay, no,
Yeah.
you're hard.
I'm
no.
a lifer. I
Okay.
live for it.
Okay.
I haven't really given any like conscious effort to like thinking about an exit strategy from behind the chair, but I do know that, let's just say someone in our management group, if they were to leave, then process of elimination, it'd probably be a lot easier for me to fill that void than to have to teach someone else how to do it.
somebody.
So that would probably be the decision making for me.
Okay.
Not that I'm actively seeking anything out, because I do enjoy doing hair,
Yeah.
and I enjoy the relationship that allows us to individually have with the staff, and that they know that like we're in it with you. So like if this color fails for you, it's probably also going to fail for me, and I'm going to be in the trenches too.
Right.
And I think that for the most part, we've edited out our hours since we started, because that was just, it had to happen for sanity and balance and all the things. But like, we do love being behind the chair, and we love being behind the chair together on Fridays, like side by side. Our guests like it, you know, over time, everyone just starts to get to know each other. So like, we bounce off of each other really well.
It's
I
like,
miss that.
I know. I do too.
These
It's
two
so
worked next
funny.
to each other too.
Yeah.
I think you guys need to
wanna
get
go
back
back?
into it.
Yeah, we
Let's
should.
do it. As we spoke last night, I think all of us are kind of in agreement that culture and the people are the biggest thing that drive these big ships that we're,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
operating. For us, we typically have one owner that kind of leads each location. You guys don't have that. You have you two, and then there is is it a general manager that
We have like a regional, we call her a regional manager, and
which
then
I
a
like
resource
that.
manager.
Okay.
So basically, there's 2 other people in our direct management group.
Okay.
And so the 4 of us, we do work very well together. And part of that is the other 2 have been with the company for 15 plus years. So, I mean, no one's new to any process or anything. And we've done a lot of and enough of like, we tried this, it didn't work, like pivot. You know, they know that we've tried a lot of things, and what we have now seems to work the best. And so we're not ever having like pushback. I don't think that anyone feels like they can't, in our management group, can't like throw out an opinion and then we can hear it out and see if it makes more sense. Is that more logical, more efficient? We work so well together that we like it like that small group, without having a location manager at each location as well. And I think that we have our roles and we all know what they are, and it just really works. But we came into this knowing, like Tara and I, knowing that we wanted to have a hands-on approach. So if we remove ourselves from a location or compartmentalize, then I feel like that loyalty that we worked so hard to build for like us as leaders becomes a little bit more like loyalty to one or the other, and we don't want that. We want it to be like to
That makes
us.
sense. Does your managers, are they behind the chair, or are they just strictly managing positions? Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
And culture. Talk to us about that. Managing culture across 3 locations, size-wise. Are these 3 similar, or is...
They are now.
Yeah,
Okay.
they are. I mean, we have 20 chairs at 2 locations and then 16 at 1. So there's a very slight variable there.
Yeah.
It is a more obvious variable when you look at numbers. Missing 4 chairs worth of income is obvious. So 2 operate pretty closely when it comes to revenue and size, and then the one with the 16 chairs, it's just a little bit smaller. But for the most part, size, like square footage, and also the size of the teams are pretty similar.
Okay. How do you guys actively manage the culture? And I imagine that, you know, where you're at and the success that you've had, it's pretty strong. But my question would be, if something's happening, if somebody's energy is off, or somebody's, you know, not doing dress code properly,
Right.
and you're not there, how is that handled?
I'm a firm believer in going direct. So we always tell our staff, like, if you've got an issue with something, you need to go tell them. Like, don't come to us and gossip, because when you come and tattle, that is what it turns into, is just gossip. And if we aren't there to see it, there's only so much we can do without it turning into a gossiping situation. So we always tell people, if they message us and say, hey, so-and-so's not in dress code today, or they look really rough, and we're like, well, you know, be a good friend. Go talk to them. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. And then management will have to step in and just say, hey, you know, like, dress code, this doesn't work. This isn't, you know. But we do really prefer that everybody kind of go direct in kind words. we like for that to be the way it happens, but like I said, sometimes it doesn't.
I don't want them to feel like because, inevitably some people do. They're like, oh, you're just watching the cameras. I'm like, I ain't got time to do that. But if I have to, I have to. You know what I mean? Like if someone calls and says, hey, something, and I don't know, it could be something crazy. Like someone's kid is running around the salon unsupervised and like all this stuff. Well, okay, I probably am going to at least pull up the camera and be like, let's just see if this is happening in real time. And if so, then I can be like, to one of our front desk teammates, be like, hey, can you please just like politely go over and just let so-and-so know that like we need to wrangle this kid before they trip on a curling iron like cord or like touch a hot tool or anything, something like that. Like, so we can kind of then triage like who needs to handle this, what makes the most sense. And also like if someone is texting saying so-and-so's out of dress code or whatever, there's only so many ways that we're going to find it. So like, might as well just go direct because otherwise it just looks like you are gossiping to us and then we're having to go and be like, I hear you're out of dress code because they know we're not on site, So yeah, some things just function better if we can just do that. And I say like, we're all adults, like we only hire adults, but there are times where obviously it makes more sense for one of us to step in and we will.
And we will.
Do you guys do any kind of like team building or like outside of even outside of salon, like events that like get your team like camaraderie there?
Yeah.
And
So we have
what do you
two
do?
that we do every year that we absolutely love. So every spring, and this is something we started right after COVID. Once we were allowed to get together again, we did, and we found that no one at the time would let us go indoors with a group our size. So now every spring we rent out an area at a brewery or at a bowling alley or something, and we have food and drinks, and it's the one event that people can bring their kids, significant others, and it's has nothing to do with hair. There are no awards. It's just we hang out.
Yeah.
We call it the Blue and Brew. It's actually this weekend. We're really excited about it.
Oh,
And
we
it's-
might be coming to North Carolina.
you should. But it's funny how different groups of the culture want that.
Yeah.
And then there's some that love our holiday party is like we go all out. I
Yeah.
mean, we rent a restaurant or a bar.
It's like a wedding reception.
It is like a wedding reception. We do awards. We do all the things.
We've had drag queens come and perform. We've had we try to do different things to make it really exciting. And of course, they always love I do think that one of the things that has worked really well for us is that we have brought people together from all the locations more
That's what I was gonna
frequently.
ask, are these group like all three
All
locations
three.
Yes.
together at once?
Yeah, we
Yes.
don't do anything
Compartmentalized.
compartmentalized.
and your
Everything-
team loves that.
They love
Yes,
it.
but now they do because I feel like there were times when we were employees and we would go to say the holiday party and you could see how clicked it was
Yes.
around the room, each salon. And that just there just wasn't a lot of getting together and intermingling much. Because if we did, it was for an education event where we were pretty much seated
Yes.
and observing, a facilitator.
So what did
But
you do to break that?
I think it was just more of our conscious effort to bring people together more frequently and more of a casual. So the Blue and Brew helps because then you could just tell that, let's say a mom over here with a 4-year-old and a mom over here with a 4-year-old, then their kids might start playing and then they might. So things like that. And then also we started a little bit more of our front desk kind of shifting around. So we try to have them be at one location just for, transportation and stuff like that. But having them move around, they got to know stylists more than just only at one location. Our associates sometimes end up working at another location if they're maybe have 2 mentors that split time instead of just one. So then they got to know more of other teams. And then when we come together for these bigger events, all of a sudden it's a little bit more intertwined, and over time it becomes more and more. And I really felt like that when we left our Christmas party for 2025. I felt like more than ever, it just seemed like there were no cliques. It was 100% everyone, when you looked around, was intermingled. And it was definitely some people that were at similar levels maybe. So they had kind of come up as the same associate core group. And so they had that camaraderie. Or maybe some people that were mentoring and then they had that in common. So I feel like over time, it's just naturally kind of blended, but a conscious effort on our part in the sense of we have to get them in the same room and we have to create these opportunities for them to have a conversation, whether that's about work or not, but just not having everyone be isolated in their own locations and never overlapping.
And then I don't know if you guys experience this, post-COVID, but we felt like education. So we used to do a ton of in-house education every year. And then with the saturation of education online, the staff really didn't care to come to any classes anymore on their day off, which was really sucked. And so we started figuring out how to like spice it up a little bit with our classes. So we would have like one big class that everybody would come to. And we would do like a little surprise thing. Like one time we had a hat bar come. So the lady came and she had a little bar, like, you know, set up on, everybody made little custom hats. And we try to make it like fun, kind of bring the excitement of getting them back all into a room together for education. And so now I do feel like we're back in a space where people want that hands-on education again. And so now, like this year, we do have a class coming up in August with Redken artist Patrick Gardiner, and he's going to come in and do a team building and business class. And then we have Braden Peltier coming in for a hands-on design class at the end of the year. So we do bring everybody together for all of those as well.
When you bring everyone together, do you have to outsource it or do you do it at one salon?
We do it at one salon. Now for the team building class, we will do that off-site because it's going to be bigger. We'll need more space.
Right.
Like a hotel conference space
That's
at one
what
of
we
our
do, yeah.
shopping centers.
I want a quick mention. It's interesting. I'm like hanging on to every word that you guys are saying about the dynamic with the team and how you finally have reached a point where you feel like everybody comes together, but it didn't come without years, right? So we're in a current situation where this past year, our team, we've kind of gone away from getting everybody together for every event, and we do separate events and separate meetings. But my thoughts is that I think we're going to reach this point pretty soon where it does feel more collaborative across all three locations for two reasons. One, the apprentice program right now,
They're all mixed
they're
in.
all together. So that
They
whole crew is going to
Yeah.
be much more comfortable with, you know, one another. It's across all three locations. They spend their Sundays together, which helps. And then the way the mentor program is now structured, there's a lot of
Intermixing.
yes.
Crossover.
So I think that because we, you know, for a while our companies were separated, and then we tried to do the thing all together, and it didn't feel that successful. But this is kind of prompting me to believe that we can have that success. It's just going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think number one, like what we have learned is that we just also have to cut out toxicity. So like to keep the culture and not let it be swayed by like one individual or like a small group. It's just basically like nip it before it ever becomes something. And we probably have, you know, most people learn the hard way. So we probably experience something and then we're like, never again. And I think that helped too. Or it's just like, okay, we're not willing to let something linger on. We're not willing to let one person tank the just because they bring in X amount of money. I don't care. I've said that plenty of times. I'm like, I literally don't care how much money someone brings in. If they are going to bring down the culture and the team dynamic, it's not worth it.
Yep.
We do have one other event that we do at the midway through the year every year too. It's the mid-year top producer dinner. And so we take the top 10 people in the company at that time, that moment in time, halfway through the year, and we take them to like a really nice dinner, and we just do like
Do
little.
they bring
special-
dates or is this
Nope,
just
this
a
is
pro-
just
okay.
them.
them.
We just celebrate them, and so it's interesting to see people who, you know, they might not be in the top 3 at the end of the year, but to be able to be celebrated at one point in the year, they just get really excited about who's going to be there,
That's
who's going to
actually
make
genius.
it, and it
What does-
changes every year.
What does that look like in your company? Like, what do you guys consider top performers?
So we call this our mid-year top producer dinner, and the top 10 get invited, and it's total sales.
Okay.
So it is literally just your
Retail
your service
sales.
and retail sales lumped together. And since everyone can see every report, we don't hide any of that from specific levels or anything. They know where they rank.
Okay.
So they are trying, and some people make this their goal. When we sit down with every stylist in January, we do like a week of coaching, and some people will say one of their goals is to make it to the mid-year top producer dinner. And
I love that.
we give them a gift, and we've done different things. A fun one that we apparently cannot replicate.
We're trying
We
so
did
hard.
this sunglass roulette where we went by the ranking. Like if you were number 1 in the company, you got first dibs. And so I had found I don't know, like 15 sunglasses options that were all designer sunglasses that I had gotten at like, say, like $100, and they got to choose. So like people walked away with Gucci sunglasses, Chloe sunglasses, like all kinds of things. And they loved that because they really were excited to pick it out. It was a luxury sunglass that they probably wouldn't have bought for themselves. I loved a treasure hunt, so it took me a minute, but I found them. And then even the last person, they had a choice. You know, we didn't make it where like you get what you get. Like I bought it more than
Extra, okay.
And the price point's a little different in 2026, apparently. But we always do something, like gift-wise. I feel like,
That's so cool.
yeah, just
love
different
that.
things.
This is awesome.
They get excited about it because, you know, who doesn't love a gift? And also they
And
get
a
a
dinner.
nice, we take them to usually like
and acknowledgement.
a steakhouse.
I feel like that's
Yep,
the-
exactly.
Yeah,
I have
love
to
that.
be honest here. I just want to say this. We've been salon owners for 12 years, and you guys are like
Yeah.
insanely impressive for how established you are. And not only that, just how much drive and ambition you have to keep this thing, you know, going. Where are you finding that inspiration? Like, where are you learning? Where are you developing your skills as a leader?
Well, she loves a good podcast. She loves a
Yes.
good podcast. I personally love. We have the opportunity a couple times a year to get into a room with, you know, women like yourselves who own multi-location salons, and I find I get a lot of inspiration from meeting other people,
Just picking brains.
picking brains,
Just like we're doing right
just
now.
like yes, like that's where I get inspiration. Is like, what are they doing that's working, and what can we do more of like that to benefit us? Does any of that work for us? And then we go into deep dives of like other things. You know, when we see someone do something and we're like,
Yeah.
do we need storage containers? Like, I really deep dive into what we can do next.
Yeah.
But I think she's definitely the podcast.
Well, and I'm doing the same thing she's doing, but just picking and pulling information from a lot of different people, you know, virtually.
Just not
So
physically there.
sometimes I listen to things and I like specifically listen to podcasts almost as I just want to know what they're telling the industry and what our staff may be absorbing, and also to kind of be able to like counteract some of that because not everything fits every business. And like for us, here, a prime example is like hourly pricing. That doesn't fit ours. We're a la carte. And that was such a push for that by so many people and influencers and influential people in like podcast settings too, that were saying like, this is the best way to go. And this is the modern salon type of mindset. But I want to hear what like people think. It doesn't mean we're going to do everything. And it also might just be to combat that conversation when it comes up because it just doesn't fit our size or the multi-location situation, because continuity is so hard.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand is, sure, this looks great and sounds great if you have one team, even if that team was large, let's just say. But when you try to like replicate that or triplicate that, it is, it's a lot of different questions that start happening.
Yeah. We just did an episode on like the influencers and their advice. So like this is a PSA. If you don't write the checks of payroll or coach a team or you know, stress about rent, can you just stop giving people advice?
Yeah,
Please,
like,
from all of
literally,
us.
Like, I feel like they shouldn't even be called influencers. They should be called like misinformers, like because they are just giving misinformation.
There's
like
a
it's
lot
so
of that
bad.
out there.
So,
feel like
but it's
some of
all
them-
about the clicks, you know.
Some of them wake up and they're like, I just really want to fuck with commission salon owners today.
It feels that way.
Yeah. Or just go viral. So like clickbait. And I mean,
exactly.
but the
Exactly.
reality is some impressionable, especially like younger stylists, that is exactly the
And they
audience they
believe it.
want. And then they get bought into
Yeah.
it. And then next thing you know, they're thinking like the salon I'm at doesn't do this right or doesn't whatever. And it's like, we can go into like all these reasons about why we do it this way and this way, but like also to some degree, it's just like, please trust that this isn't the first rodeo. It's not the second rodeo. It might not even be the third rodeo. So like it's been tried. And what we're doing right now is the best of the options that have come before us and what's current in the market. And we
Exactly.
just try to keep a pulse on that so that we aren't, you know,
And
archaic.
numbers don't lie. I mean, how many people inside your company are super successful?
Yeah.
And they're not working 40 hours a week and,
No
you know,
one.
crushing their weekends with working. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, I mean, we see it. We have girls that work for us 2 days a week and they're making, you know, so much money. And it's like, so how can you argue that? Like,
Yeah.
it's just, you know, the numbers don't lie. I
No.
always go back to that.
I when I'm interviewing new students coming out of school and you know, one of the things I always tell them is I know that our process works. I know that. If you're willing to put in the work and follow it the way that it's built to be followed, I can guarantee that you can take home 6 figures a year working 3 days a week.
Yeah.
What other career can we do that and like also get to come in and hang out with our best friends and have so much fun and have such an impact in our small little space?
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful thing, but we know that what we've built works and that you can be wildly successful doing it and having a great balance.
True that.
So true.
Yeah.
The dynamic between you two, clearly it's different, you know, like your focuses are one thing, your focuses are another. Do you, like us, sometimes have disagreements about
Oh yeah.
things? Now we lean into the fact that, I guess we're not that way anymore. I was going to say that when it was 3, it was great because it was just like, you know, who had the most votes.
Yeah, it was majority rules.
Yeah.
Now we have 4 partners.
Yep.
I mean,
And
it's
it's like
still always
sometimes
majority.
it is
though.
usually majority,
Yeah.
but sometimes it'll be split like 2 and 2.
Coin
So
toss.
yes,
Yeah.
that's what it's like.
How do you guys typically, you know, if there is a conflict and a decision that needs to be made, how does that end?
We just kind of talk through
Talk
it.
through it.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have sisters. So I have younger brothers, and then she does not have siblings. So I think we were friends before I went to hair school. So we had a friendship that was outside of hair and definitely outside of our business. And I think that, you know, we can hear each other out. We might not agree with each other. We might spend 24 hours miffed or whatever. But at the end of the day, we're going to bring it back to making the decision that is the best for the team. And also, like, we recognize our goals are the same. So we want the same thing at the end.
Yeah.
If how we get there might be a different, you know, approach, we can hash that out.
Yeah.
And I think that's true for us too. I feel like we're all friends outside of work, and it's like our kids are friends, our husbands are friends. We do vacation together, we do a lot together. So like if there's a disagreement in work, especially for us two, I mean, we are together an awful lot. Like we're up at school together, we're at my mom's for dinner. It's easy for us to like leave our feelings in the office and then go have dinner at my mom's and like not like no one would even know that we were just ready to rip each other's hair out. You know, it's funny.
Well, that's the sister dynamic.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
that's
that's it.
because I don't ever feel like ripping her hair
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
We get that way. But like for Alicia, like I agree. I don't
Yeah.
feel that way about Alicia or Dana.
Neither
Me
do
and Mon
I.
definitely have that little
Neither do I.
sister rivalry every once in a while. But I think having the friendship outside of work helps. Like
Yeah.
it really does. So.
I always find that when we travel together, we try really hard to travel for education, just the two of us, very regularly. And that's also like a time for us to reconnect and on a friendship level and not just on an owner level, because sometimes we do get lost in being owners. And so for me, being the people person, it's really important for me to have the friendship because that we had that first, and that'll be there way after Salon Blue. So I think that us traveling together for education and other things helps too. And then I also like to do things to her on educational trips that put her out of her comfort zone. Like we went to Arizona and I made her go like 4-wheeling.
Yeah.
You know,
Glamping.
She was the driver.
Glamping
I'm
in
still
Utah.
scarred from that story
I was just the
last
passenger.
night.
yes, she's the
Yeah.
princess passenger.
I wanted to ask, outside of doing hair behind the chair, what are like your day-to-day focuses? And I'm asking this because I feel like this might help like some other salon owners who find themselves like wanting to expand their reach and their leadership. So like, what are the things that you guys focus on the daily that are outside of doing hair behind the chair?
I'm just constantly working with our associate team and our mentors, trying to make sure that their lives are all running really smoothly. Because
Okay.
if that's running smoothly, that's a huge portion of the team that is putting out good energy and good work. So that's like my main focus and keeping the peace. And then I'm the party planner, so I'm always planning all the parties
And the recruiting for
and the recruiting for the salons. So I go to all the career fairs. I'm the one that's talking to the owners of the schools, and I'm constantly messaging with students in hair school. Like I'm always on that end of the social media, just staying relevant with the schools to keep that relationship really strong.
Yeah, I have like an auto save response for when people DM the salon or like, I'm graduating school and I'd really like to shadow. And like I have one saved, but it's just basically like, that's great. Please reach out to Tara Gardner Hair. She is our associate recruiter, that type of thing. Because it is a lot. For me, behind the scenes, I'm doing a lot more like I was saying, like the paper stuff. So like I'm communicating with banks or attorneys or landlords a lot of times with like lease stuff. I do the website maintenance. So I didn't create the website, but the day-to-day, like just moving people around when they level jump or editing that. Social media, I run our social media. So just trying to do that story all the time.
As well?
I don't do the bookkeeping, thank gosh.
Do you have a bookkeeper?
Yeah,
Oh,
our resource
okay.
manager does that.
Gotcha.
And then we have an outside CPA that does like the next level of
Taxes and
audit.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
At the front desk responsibilities, our regional manager handles most of that, but any type of marketing for that I would be doing. And I guess marketing in general falls under me.
And then when you're coaching stylists, do you guys do that together or on your own or?
So we combo. So in January every year we take a whole week and we sit with every individual stylist for 30 minutes and we set up their plan for the year. And so that we do together. And then if anyone wants us specifically to coach them at any point, we do together or separately. And then all of our level 1 stylists each month have to send us an email with their updates of like where their numbers are, how things are looking. And then we write back with like, that's great. Let's work on XYZ or keep doing this. It's working really well for you. And then once they are a level 2, they get assigned to a coach.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
I have a
It's
question
peer.
about your managers. So you said that they're not behind the chair. Are they in the salons?
One is not.
Yeah, and it's not like they have an
So
office.
your resource manager's not, I'm assuming.
Correct.
She's all the
Correct.
back end. Your regional manager, she just
Floats around.
floats around all three. And then if there's a disgruntled client, who handles that? The regional manager or one of you?
The regional manager and then sometimes her in the bad
Gotcha.
case.
Well, like,
scenarios,
yeah,
'cause she
I'm-
handles all the Google.
Honestly, I'm going to
reviews.
respond to every Google review, good or bad, that type of thing. But for the most part, I do push that off to our regional
Who
manager,
does your scheduling?
the regional manager.
Regional manager.
Yeah.
For every location?
Yes.
For all aspects, front desk.
So like as in
apprentices?
like she creates the front desk schedule each month, yes, and then that's just for fairness. So we don't have like one person at each location who's always like prioritizing like their desire
Gotcha.
for like
Yep.
not having Saturdays scheduled or evenings or whatever. And then she does the stylist schedule set up. But like as far as like you mean like people calling in and booking appointments? That's
No.
yeah, that's all on
I
site.
was wondering like the scheduling as far as like front desk people, your apprentices, and
Yeah, so she Heather handles all the
Bless you.
like all those logistics. She's just phenomenal at. I mean, if there was a competition for Excel spreadsheets, she would win it. She knows like every formula. So she is just one of those people
great.
that like she brings that to the table,
Yeah.
whereas like that's not really my preference. I'm spending time. I'm gonna have to Google something, find a formula.
yeah.
I have a question. So, and just I'm trying to understand the dynamic between the leaders. And I'm pretty sure it's the type of thing where you guys all have specific hats that you wear.
Yes.
And whatever you're wearing, whatever roles and responsibilities falls under your category, that is exclusively where you live for the most part.
Yeah, we try to.
And there's 4 of you. And this seems to work really well, huh?
Yeah, and we have over time had to edit who did what. So if something became more involved than maybe we anticipated, or we realized, okay, so here's a scenario. We decided to overhaul like our software and also go into Vish at the same time. So we went to an event.
Oh my god, I was thinking about that last night as I'm laying in bed. I'm like, I wonder if they use a Vish or anything like
Yes.
that. Okay.
So we went to this event in the fall one year, and then we met with all the tech people that were on the site, for like third parties. And so we're like, all right, we're going to move to Forest because that is offering more things that we need, and it wasn't at like an additional price. So we were thinking, great. Well, then simultaneously we were like, oh, we're going to bring on Vish. Well, we did not think this through. We did this within like 2 weeks of each other. That was terrible. It was just too much change at one time.
Yeah.
And we had our booking software for like 15 years at least.
Yeah.
So it was like a lot of change at one time. And we wouldn't do that again. But when we brought on that new software, our regional manager, she was like all in on that project. which was very involved as we learned. And it's great now, but it was involved. So then we had to move some things off her plate because she just had too much going on. Yeah. So we said, okay, now we're going to take away if someone's calling out for the day, like they call out, they're sick, instead of it coming to you, we're going to push that onto the resource manager. So now she's going to be completely with like time off, whether that's in advance or day of. And so that's kind of what we've done over the years is like, if a project takes precedent, we might adjust who does what and move different things around just because it makes more sense.
I'm so impressed. You guys have it like so figured out.
Well, it depends on the day, but I do believe that the more clarity and how more black and white it can be on where on people's roles, the easier it is for everyone.
For sure.
If things to just run a little bit.
How often do you guys meet? Like we have GSD days, we call them. They're like get shit done days, and it's outside of the salon.
Yeah.
Like we meet at someone's house and we like just go through everything we need to talk about. Do you guys do?
Well, we
something
talk
similar?
constantly.
Yeah.
But we also, when we work together on Fridays, we always take time to chit chat in the office, kind of catch up with what good stuff and not good stuff has happened during the week. And then we try to like at least once a month go somewhere off property and just like have lunch and
The four
really
of you?
nope just
Just
us.
us.
You too.
Yeah.
Now, how
us.
often do you meet with the managers? Do you do like any kind of like leadership calls or anything?
If we need to, but it's rare.
Again, I think a lot of it does that we're so fortunate that both of them have such a long-standing history with the company that they're not really having to come and ask us for things they already know, and it is smooth sailing in the sense that like they know their roles. And I mean, really, I think the thing that they come to us would be approving spending, like a plumbing repair is going to be X amount, like, okay, are we good with this? That type of thing. I think that they just are very self-sufficient in a really good way, and we're fortunate.
How do you keep them motivated?
You mean
They're
money-wise?
Just like in general, like is it acknowledgments? Is it rewards? Is it bonuses or anything like that that kind of keeps them like really excited to be doing what they're doing?
I do think that, again, we're very fortunate this is the case. I do think that they are so aware of the way things used to be. And that means like the industry as well as the company, and like how flexibility and things like that they value that. And so our resource manager she was on vacation this week. I think she went to Florida.
She went to Disney.
Yeah, Disney.
She loves
Disney. So I think, I forgot what I asked her, and it was just kind of like, hey, like, no rush. If you have time, send me this invoice, like, blah, blah, blah. And her response was literally like, thank you for being, we drove all day yesterday. Thank you for being so, like, flexible and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, girl, close your laptop. Like, you're on vacation. I just was like, if you have the time, not like, don't open it for this one thing. But I think that they recognize that was not always the case, and that they feel very like happy, and they love the direction that the salon has taken. And I think that keeps them there. Like, they're not looking for outside adjustments as far as like other employment or.
And we do give them, we do financially benefit them every year, to keep them feeling like we respect them and appreciate and value their time. We do a dinner with them once a year, and we buy them nice gifts. Like, we try really hard to remind them constantly that we appreciate, because we know the hard work that they put in that no one sees.
Well, your team must be like so well run, because if you have 3 locations and you don't have managers on site, I mean, it just must be pretty smooth. And easy. Like, I just feel like you probably don't run into a lot of problems that where you need someone there overseeing everybody, everything.
I do think it works
seems like
well.
You do a great job with that.
That our associates go through this training program, so they're witnessing the culture and they're witnessing us be on site at the locations, and whether that's behind the chair or like me showing up on a Wednesday when I'm not behind the chair to lay under a shampoo bowl to work on some plumbing or whatever handy dandy thing needs to happen at whatever location. Like, I just have like a list of things I have to accomplish eventually. And I think they get to see that. So when they are on the floor as level ones, they're not like, oh, like I am just like free and all this stuff. Like, they know exactly what to do. We have prepped them for that 8 months or 6 months or 8 months or however long it takes. So when they hit their new teammates, but it's not like they're having to learn the culture and the rules, and like they know what's expected. They know to be there 15 minutes before their shift starts and clocked in. They know to be in dress code. They, you know what I mean? Like, without that, I think it would probably be harder to maintain that with no manager at each location.
What do you think your biggest challenge is right now with your 3 salons companies? Is
Biggest
there like one
opportunity?
specific thing? Like, is there one big challenge that you're just like, if I could just figure this out?
I mean, we've talked front desk.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
front desk
hesitant to like
hiring.
not knock on something, but we had gone through like a big rehiring of our front desk team because life happens. People have babies, they move, etc. Their schedules are just no longer conducive to like our needs, and so I think front desk is always, and an hourly employee situation in general is always like a constant search for the right person, the right individual. And if we find the right individual and they're on our front desk teams, over time we kind of find more projects for them. So, for example, while we do have one dedicated front desk lead at each location, there's someone that when we decided to bring on the Maya survey to like find your stylist, we tasked her with being in charge of that. So making sure that we're managing like the ROI. Like, yeah, we got all these surveys, but did they actually book? Do we need to follow up with an email and say, hey, you know, you matched with these people? So we incentivize her by like an increased hourly rate. So we find little things that might increase their hourly rate that way.
And to make them feel like they can invest in the team and have a career, a little bit more of a career path at the front desk. You know, we can't promise everybody a front desk lead role. We can't promise everybody a management role. So we try to find something.
Yeah, that's
Just
great.
one final question about the manager. I'm just so intrigued by how you guys are doing things over there. Do you ever hit a point where you guys are like, I really think we need another leader involved, or you guys feel really self-sufficient with what you have going on?
I think with this we're okay, but if we were to expand, you know, to an additional location, for example, then I think we'd probably have to reevaluate, and that would probably be a lot on the proximity, you know, because having 3 salons in one city, we can get around to all of them. It's not a hardship necessarily. But if we were to expand outside of one city and it was a further drive and we needed more hands-on day-to-day, then we'd probably have to reevaluate what that looks like.
Okay.
Amazing.
All right. What's next? Where are you guys? I mean, for you guys, like, what's next? What's the big vision? What do we have in the 5-year plan?
Who knows? I mean, opportunities throw themselves like from our current landlords, for example, or property management groups. They'll present, hey, we have new shopping centers being open. We have these spaces open. Are you interested?
Yeah.
So like never ruling out another something, whatever that looks like.
We get that too. Do you think you'll ever have a stylist come to you and say like, hey, I want to open a salon, and you guys be a part of it?
We
Yeah.
would
Something
be
like
open.
that.
We would
Yeah.
love that.
I think that is.
You know, we would love that. We aren't gonna close that option off at all. It would have to be the person that aligns with our values
Right.
and wouldn't go rogue with everything we've built. But yeah, I mean, we would totally be open to that.
With a
we
team
would
of
want
like
that.
80-some people, you have to have a couple people.
Exactly.
Of course
Yeah.
we
You would
do.
totally
Of course,
partner
we
with.
think
Yeah.
about it all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Who are they? No, I'm just kidding.
Like, what are their Instagram handles?
All of them. They're all so great.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like near future, we don't have anything like in the works that we're like announcing here.
But we're always looking for opportunities or open to new opportunities.
Yeah,
And if the right thing comes along, we'll do it.
I love that about you guys.
We'll figure it out.
I know. The more time we get to spend with you guys, the more I realize how aligned we really are on so much.
I know,
and
I'm
how
like deja vu over here. I feel like so many things you've talked about. I'm like, that was us. This was us. Like, I felt like I lived that. Like,
even
it's
the
so
views
funny.
and the values, like
Yes.
the things that you guys talk about, I'm like, wow, these feel like partners to me. You guys are insanely impressive.
Rock stars.
Like, it's
Yeah, you are.
unbelievable. I'm just like happy we get to sit at the same table and
your
have
team
these
is
conversations.
incredibly lucky to have leaders like you guys.
All right. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you have any friends that you feel would find value here, please feel free to share, comment, like, find us on gohampod.com, and we will catch you on the next one.